Atlanta's afternoon sun blazed through the floor-to-ceiling windows of Lux Spa and Wellness, nestled in the heart of Buckhead. Zara Williams adjusted her Louis Vuitton bag on her shoulder as she took in the minimalist white interior of the establishment. At 28, she had built a digital empire with 800,000 followers who loved her authentic beauty tips and warm personality. Zara Williams, a blonde woman approximately 45, emerged from the hallway wearing an immaculately white lab coat. "I'm Rebecca, your esthetician today. Such a pleasure to meet you in person." Zara smiled, extending her hand. "The pleasure's mine. I've heard wonderful things about this place." Rebecca led her down a hushed corridor, past treatment rooms with names like Serenity and Renewal. "You have beautiful skin," Rebecca commented, studying Zara's face with clinical eyes. "I work with several influencers around the city." The treatment room was a sanctuary of tranquility, soft lighting, essential oil diffusers, and a massage table draped in pristine white linens. Zara settled into the comfortable chair as Rebecca began her consultation. "So, tell me about your current skincare routine," Rebecca said, pulling up a rolling stool. "I see you're very successful online. Beauty content, right?" "Yes, mostly skincare and makeup tutorials. I try to keep it real for my audience, show them what actually works." Zara's eyes sparkled with passion as she spoke about her craft. Rebecca nodded, making notes on her tablet. "That's refreshing. So many influencers these days just push products without understanding skin science." She paused, studying Zara's complexion more intently. "You know, I have some ideas that could really take your content to the next level." "I'm always open to professional advice," Zara replied, relaxing into the chair as Rebecca began the facial analysis. "Your bone structure is absolutely stunning," Rebecca continued, circling Zara's face with a magnifying lamp. "And your skin texture is naturally smooth. But..." She hesitated, as if choosing her words carefully. Zara's eyebrows raised slightly. "But what?" "Well, in my professional opinion, there are some treatments we could explore that might help you reach a broader audience. You know how competitive the beauty space is, especially for someone in your demographic." Something in Rebecca's tone made Zara's stomach tighten slightly, though she couldn't quite place why. The conversation was taking an unexpected turn, but she remained polite, curious to hear what the so-called expert had to suggest. "What kind of treatments are we talking about?" Zara asked, her voice steady, but her instincts beginning to stir with an unnamed unease. Rebecca wheeled her stool closer, her voice dropping to what she probably considered a confidential tone. "Well, I've been in this industry for over 15 years, and I've seen what works for building successful beauty brands. The most successful influencers I work with have, how should I put this, a more universal appeal." Zara's jaw tightened imperceptibly. "Universal appeal? Don't get me wrong, you're absolutely gorgeous," Rebecca backpedaled quickly. "But the beauty industry can be challenging. I have several treatments that could help even out your skin tone, make it more camera-ready for brand partnerships." The room suddenly felt smaller. Zara's heart began to beat faster, but she kept her expression neutral. "Even out my skin tone." Rebecca seemed oblivious to the shift in atmosphere. "Yes, I have chemical peels, laser treatments, very subtle, of course. Some of my clients have seen amazing results. There's this new Lightening treatment from Europe that's absolutely revolutionary. Very gentle, but effective." The word hit Zara like a physical blow. Lightening. She felt her grandmother's voice echo in her memory. "Baby girl, your skin is beautiful just as God made it." But Rebecca was still talking, apparently mistaking Zara's silence for interest. "I worked with this one influencer, similar following to yours, and after a series of treatments, her engagement went through the roof. She started getting deals with major cosmetics companies that had never shown interest before." Rebecca pulled out her phone. "Let me show you some before and after photos." Zara's hands clenched in her lap as Rebecca scrolled through images of women whose rich brown skin had been systematically lightened to various shades of beige. Each photo felt like a knife twist in her chest. "See the difference?" Rebecca asked enthusiastically. It's not about changing who you are, it's about optimizing your potential in a competitive market. I mean, you must have noticed that the biggest beauty influencers tend to have lighter skin tones, right? Something crystallized in Zara's mind in that moment. Without Rebecca noticing, she discreetly opened her phone's voice memo app and hit record, sliding the device partially under the towel beside her. "Tell me more about this treatment," Zara said, her voice carefully controlled. "How exactly does it work?" Rebecca's eyes lit up, apparently thrilled by what she interpreted as genuine interest. "Oh, it's fantastic. The treatment uses a combination of hydroquinone and tretinoin, completely safe when done professionally. We start with a consultation to determine how many shades lighter would be optimal for your career goals." "Career goals," Zara repeated slowly. "Exactly. Look, I'm going to be honest with you because I like you." Rebecca leaned in conspiratorially. "The beauty industry has certain preferences. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just being realistic. If you want to compete with the big names, sometimes you have to play the game." Zara felt a familiar fire building in her chest, the same fire that had driven her to start her platform when she couldn't find makeup tutorials for her skin tone, the same fire that made her speak up in college when professors made casual racist comments. But this time, she forced herself to stay calm and keep listening. "I have to ask," Zara said, her voice dangerously steady, "do you suggest these treatments to all your black clients?" Rebecca blinked, seemingly surprised by the direct question. "Well, I customize my recommendations based on each client's goals and market positioning. You came here because you want to grow your brand, right? I'm just offering solutions." "Solutions," Zara repeated, the word tasting bitter in her mouth. "Think about it logically," Rebecca continued, warming to her theme. "Companies want to appeal to the widest possible demographic. It's just business. And honestly, some of your features are already so striking. With just a few tweaks, you could be absolutely unstoppable." Zara's phone continued recording as Rebecca pulled out a color chart showing different skin tones. "See, we could aim for something around here." She pointed to a shade several tones lighter than Zara's natural complexion. "Still ethnic enough to be authentic, but accessible to mainstream audiences." The phrase, "still ethnic enough," rang in Zara's ears like a slap. She thought about her younger sister Amara, who had struggled with self-esteem issues throughout high school, desperately trying skin-lightening creams she'd ordered online. She thought about her followers, many of them young black women who looked to her for representation and validation. "And you really think this would help my career?" Zara asked, her voice carrying a sharp edge that Rebecca completely missed. "Absolutely. Look at someone like..." Rebecca named several mixed-race influencers with naturally lighter skin. They're booking campaigns left and right. It's not personal, it's just the reality of the market. Zara stood up suddenly, causing Rebecca to pause mid-sentence. "I think I need to use the restroom," she said. "Of course. It's just down the hall. Take your time to think about what I've shared. I know it's a big decision, but I really think it could be transformative for your brand." In the bathroom, Zara stared at her reflection in the mirror. Her grandmother's face looked back at her. The same high cheekbones, the same deep brown eyes, the same rich mahogany skin that had been called beautiful and striking by her family her entire life. She thought about the generations of black women who had been told they weren't enough, who had internalized these messages and passed them down. Her phone buzzed with a text from her best friend, Maya. "How's the spa day, babe? Getting pampered like the queen you are?" Zara typed back quickly. "You wouldn't believe what just happened. I'll call you later." She checked the voice recording, 12 minutes of clear audio. Her hands trembled slightly as she realized the weight of what she was holding. Zara returned to the treatment room with renewed purpose. Rebecca looked up expectantly, a hopeful smile on her face. "So, have you thought about what we discussed?" Rebecca asked. "I have some brochures about the treatment packages, and I could get you started as early as next week." Zara settled back into the chair, her posture different now, straighter, more intentional. Actually, I have some questions. Of course, I love when clients are thorough. Do you realize what you're suggesting to me? Zara's voice was calm, but there was steel underneath. Rebecca's smile flickered slightly. I'm suggesting treatments that could enhance your natural beauty and expand your career opportunities. You're suggesting that I lighten my skin to make myself more palatable to white audiences, Zara said directly. You're telling me that my natural black features aren't good enough for success. The room went silent. Rebecca's face flushed. That's not what I meant at all. I think you might be misunderstanding. Am I? Zara interrupted. You literally showed me before and after photos of black women who had lightened their skin and told me it would be good for my career. You said I needed to be more universal and accessible to mainstream audiences. Rebecca fumbled for words. I was speaking from a purely business perspective. The industry has certain standards that exclude people who look like me in our natural state, Zara finished. Standards that tell black women we need to chemically alter our skin to be worthy of success. Look, I think you're being overly sensitive. The phrase hit Zara like a match to gasoline. Overly sensitive for not wanting to bleach my skin. I never said bleach, Rebecca protested weakly. You said lighten. You showed me a color chart and pointed to a shade 5 tones lighter than my natural skin. You told me it would make me more successful. What would you call that? Rebecca stood up, clearly uncomfortable. I think there's been a misunderstanding. Maybe we should reschedule when you've had time to cool down. Cool down? Zara laughed, but there was no humor in it. I'm perfectly calm. I'm just calling out what you said for what it was. Racist. I am not racist. Rebecca's voice rose. I have plenty of black clients who are perfectly happy with their treatments. That doesn't make what you suggested to me any less problematic, Zara replied, gathering her things. And the fact that you can't see that is part of the problem. As Zara walked toward the door, Rebecca called out, "You're making a mistake. I was trying to help your career." Zara paused at the doorway and turned back. My career is doing just fine with the skin I was born in. Thank you. She walked out of the spa and into the Atlanta heat, her mind racing with everything that had just happened. That evening, Zara sat in her home studio, a converted spare bedroom filled with ring lights, cameras, and carefully organized makeup palettes. The walls were adorned with photos of black women throughout history: Josephine Baker, Dorothy Dandridge, Diana Ross, and contemporary icons like Lupita Nyong'o and Viola Davis. She had built this space with her own hands and her own vision, creating content that celebrated black beauty without compromise. The irony of the day's events wasn't lost on her. Her phone kept buzzing with notifications, but she ignored them. Instead, she stared at the voice recording on her phone, knowing that what she held could spark a conversation much bigger than herself. The 12-minute audio file felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Maya arrived with takeout from their favorite Ethiopian restaurant, her braids pulled back in a colorful head wrap. Okay, spill. What happened at the spa that had you texting me in crisis mode? Zara played the recording. Maya's expression shifted from confusion to disbelief to outrage as Rebecca's voice filled the room, suggesting skin-lightening treatments and talking about universal appeal and being still ethnic enough to be authentic. She actually said that, Maya gasped, nearly dropping her injera. Out loud, to your face, in 2024? Every single word, Zara confirmed, her voice heavy with exhaustion and anger. And Maya, she wasn't malicious about it. She genuinely thought she was helping my career. That's almost worse. This casual systemic racism disguised as professional advice. Maya paced around the small studio, her footsteps muffled by the soundproofing foam Zara had installed. You have to post this. This needs to be heard by everyone. But what if what? What if people finally understand what black women deal with every single day? What if your younger followers realize they don't need to change themselves to be worthy of success? What if some other black girl doesn't have to sit in that chair and hear those words? Zara thought about her cousin Destiny, only 16 and already asking about skin bleaching creams she'd seen advertised on social media. She thought about the messages she received weekly from followers, thanking her for showing them how to do makeup, for darker skin tones, for featuring products that actually worked on deep complexions. She thought about her grandmother, Mama Rose, who had raised her with the unwavering belief that she was perfect exactly as she was. "It's going to be huge," Zara said quietly, staring at her reflection in her camera lens. "Once I post this, there's no going back. My life changes forever." "Good," Maya replied firmly, settling into the chair she always occupied during Zara's late-night editing sessions. "It should be huge. This woman is out here telling black influencers to lighten their skin for brand deals. How many other women has she said this to? How many of them actually considered it? How many went through with it?" The thought sent a chill through Zara's spine. She pulled up her video editing software, the familiar interface offering some comfort in this moment of uncertainty. She had recorded hundreds of videos in this space, makeup tutorials, product reviews, motivational talks, but none had felt as important as the one she was about to create. "I need to be surgical about how I frame this," she said, more to herself than to Maya. "I don't want it to be about revenge or destroying this woman. I want it to be about the bigger issue, the system that made her think this was acceptable advice to give." "Start with your truth," Maya suggested, pulling her own phone out to order them both some calming tea. "Tell them exactly what happened. Play the recording and then talk about what it means. Trust your audience. They follow you because you keep it real with them. Always." Zara nodded, adjusting her camera and checking her lighting for the 100th time. The golden hour ring light cast a warm glow across her face, highlighting the rich mahogany skin that someone had suggested she chemically alter. She took several deep breaths, centering herself in the knowledge that what she was about to do could help other women avoid the pain she'd experienced today. "Hey, beautiful souls," she began, her voice steady despite the gravity of what she was about to share. "I need to have a serious conversation with you all about something that happened to me today. Something that I think represents a much bigger problem in our industry and in our society. So grab some tea, get comfortable, and let's talk about colorism, self-worth, and why I'm about to break the internet. I went to a spa today for what was supposed to be a relaxing facial," Zara continued, her voice gaining strength. "What I experienced instead was someone telling me that I should lighten my skin to advance my career. Not in those exact words, but that's exactly what she meant." She played key excerpts from the recording, watching her own face on the camera monitor as Rebecca's words filled the space. Each phrase, universal appeal, more camera ready, still ethnic enough, landed with devastating clarity. "This isn't just about one ignorant person," Zara said, after the recording ended. "This is about a system that tells black women every single day that we are not enough as we are, that our natural beauty needs to be modified, lightened, softened to be acceptable to the mainstream." Her voice cracked slightly as she continued. "I think about my younger followers, my little sister, my cousin who's only 16 and already asking me about skin bleaching creams because she thinks it will make her prettier. This is the message they're getting, that their beautiful black skin is somehow a barrier to success." She leaned closer to the camera, her eyes intense. "But I'm here to tell you that's a lie. Your dark skin is not an obstacle to overcome. It is not something to be ashamed of or something that needs to be fixed. It is beautiful, it is worthy, and it belongs in every space, including the beauty industry." Zara spoke for 23 minutes, weaving together personal stories, industry observations, and a powerful call to action for self-love and systemic change. She talked about colorism within the black community, the history of skin lightening products, and the responsibility of beauty brands to represent all shades of blackness. "I'm sharing this not to destroy anyone, but because silence is complicity," she concluded. Every time we stay quiet about these experiences, we allow them to continue. Every time we don't speak up, another young black girl gets the message that she's not enough. She posted the video at 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night, adding the caption, "This happened to me today. How many of you have similar stories? It's time we talk about it. Black skin is beautiful. Representation matters. Skin lightening." Maya, who had been watching from behind the camera, squeezed Zara's shoulder. "That was perfect. Raw, honest, powerful. Now we wait," Zara said. But she didn't have to wait long. Within 30 minutes, the video had 50,000 views and hundreds of comments. The notifications were coming so fast, her phone couldn't keep up. Comments from followers sharing their own experiences, from other influencers expressing solidarity, from people who had never heard her name before but were moved by her story. By 2 a.m., the video had reached 500,000 views. By morning, it was trending on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Major news outlets were reaching out for interviews. Other beauty influencers were sharing their own stories of discrimination and colorism in the industry. But with the massive support came the inevitable backlash. Comments calling her too sensitive, people defending the esthetician as just trying to help, others suggesting she was playing the race card for views and attention. Some accused her of ruining an innocent woman's career and taking things too far. The hate was painful, but it was vastly outnumbered by messages of love, support, and gratitude from people who finally felt seen and heard. 1 week after posting the video, Zara sat across from Gayle King on CBS Mornings, her hands steady despite the magnitude of the moment. The video had reached 25 million views across all platforms, sparked congressional discussions about beauty industry regulations, and inspired thousands of other women to share their own stories of colorism and discrimination using the hashtag #ChaptyMyColorismStory. "Zara, your video has clearly struck a nerve around the world," Gayle said, leaning forward with genuine interest. "Were you prepared for this level of response? We're talking about international news coverage, celebrity endorsements, and even policy discussions." "Honestly, Gayle, no," Zara replied, her voice calm but her eyes reflecting the whirlwind of the past week. "But I think the massive response tells us something crucial. This isn't an isolated incident or a personal grievance. This is a widespread, systemic issue that Black women and women of color have been dealing with quietly for generations. My story just gave people permission to speak up about their own experiences." The interviewer nodded. "Let's talk about the immediate fallout. The spa issued a public apology, the esthetician was terminated, and we understand there have been some legal implications as well." Zara shifted slightly, choosing her words carefully. The spa's response was swift and comprehensive. They've committed to mandatory bias training for all staff. They've hired a diversity consultant, and they're implementing new protocols for client interactions. As for Rebecca, the esthetician, I want to be clear. I never called for her to be fired. I hoped this could be a learning moment for everyone involved. But there have been consequences, Gayle pressed. Yes, and I understand that's difficult for her and her family. But I also think about the consequences for all the Black women who might have sat in that chair after me if I hadn't spoken up. How many women might have actually gone through with those treatments because a professional told them it would help their careers? Behind the scenes, the past week had been a hurricane of activity. Zara's team, now expanded to include a publicist, a legal advisor, and a social media manager, had been fielding hundreds of interview requests from major networks, podcasts, and international media outlets. Her Instagram following had grown to 3.2 million, with verification badges from every major platform and collaboration offers from brands she'd only dreamed of working with before. But the most meaningful responses weren't coming from boardrooms. They were coming from her community. The hashtag My Colorism story had generated over 100,000 posts, with women sharing painful but powerful stories about being told they were too dark for modeling agencies, being passed over for jobs, being treated differently by teachers, doctors, and employers because of their skin tone. Skin lightening clinics across the country were reporting cancellations, while Black-owned beauty brands were experiencing unprecedented sales growth. Let's talk about the positive changes, Gail continued. Major beauty brands have reached out to you directly, haven't they? Yes, and it's been incredible. Zara's face lit up with genuine excitement. Fenty Beauty, Iman Cosmetics, and several other brands have not only reached out about partnerships, but they're also committing to expanding their shade ranges and featuring more dark-skinned models in their campaigns. Some companies are even reviewing their hiring practices and consultant relationships. Now, what Gail didn't mention on air were the death threats Zara had received, the doxing attempts, and the coordinated harassment campaign from certain corners of the internet. Her security team, a necessity she never thought she'd need as a beauty influencer, had briefed her family on safety protocols, but for every hateful message, there were dozens of supportive ones, and she was determined not to let fear silence her voice. The most meaningful part of all this, Zara continued, has been hearing from young women who've changed their minds about skin lightening procedures, or who've decided to embrace their natural hair texture, or who've finally felt confident enough to pursue careers they thought weren't for people who looked like them. She paused, thinking about the video call she'd had the night before with a group of teenage girls from a high school in Birmingham, Alabama. They'd reached out through her foundation's new mentorship program, wanting to thank her for giving them language to discuss colorism in their own families and communities. Your grandmother has been quoted in several articles this week, Gail noted with a smile. She said, "That's my grandbaby telling the world what we've been saying at the kitchen table for years." Zara laughed, the first genuine moment of lightness she'd felt all week. Mama Rose has been my biggest supporter through all of this. She keeps reminding me that this conversation didn't start with my video. Black women have been fighting these battles for centuries. I just happen to have a platform and a recording device. What's next for you? Gail asked as the interview began to wrap up. I'm launching the Crown Yourself Foundation next month, Zara announced, using the television appearance to make the official announcement. We'll be providing grants to young Black women pursuing careers in beauty, fashion, and media, as well as funding research into the psychological impacts of colorism. I also want to work with beauty schools to incorporate cultural competency training into their curricula. The interview continued for another 10 minutes, touching on everything from social media responsibility to the global nature of colorism. But Zara's mind kept drifting to a message she'd received that morning from a 14-year-old girl in South Africa. I threw away all my skin bleaching creams after watching your video. I want to be proud of looking like you and my grandmother. Later that evening, back in her Atlanta studio, Zara sat editing her follow-up video, a collaboration with 12 other Black beauty influencers from around the world, sharing resources for young women dealing with colorism and self-esteem issues. Her follower count had stabilized at just over 3 million, but more importantly, the engagement on her posts had fundamentally shifted. The conversations in her comments were deeper, more meaningful, focused on healing and empowerment rather than just product recommendations. Her phone buzzed with a text from Maya. "Watching you on CBS right now. You handled that perfectly. Mama Rose called me crying happy tears." Another message appeared, this one from her sister Amara. "Just wanted you to know I applied for that modeling agency today. The one I said wouldn't want someone who looks like us. Your voice gave me courage to find mine." Zara looked at her reflection in her ring light, the same face that Rebecca had suggested needed to be chemically altered to be successful. She saw her grandmother's wisdom in her eyes, her mother's determination in her jawline, and her own unwavering commitment to authenticity in her smile. She had indeed broken the internet, but more importantly, She had helped break the silence around an issue that had caused immeasurable harm to countless women. The conversation was far from over. Systemic change takes time, and there would undoubtedly be setbacks and challenges ahead. But sitting in her studio, surrounded by messages of gratitude and transformation from women around the world, Zara knew that sometimes breaking things is the first step to building something better. The recording she'd made in that spa treatment room had lasted 12 minutes. The conversation it sparked, she hoped, would last for generations.